Hey guys, want to throw a little news out there about how things are going here in the Philippines as far as this mess is concerned. And I wanted to give you a total of what's going on as far as how many people have been vaccinated in the Philippines. The first dose, they've given out about 1.5 million doses, and that's 1.4% of the population. That means they're kind of half vaccinated because that's the first dose, because that's not Johnson and Johnson. Most people over here don't have that. The second dose, we only have 237,000 people, close to 238,000 actually, that have received the second dose. Now that's out of 110 million people in the Philippines, I believe it is. And it's only 0.02% of the population has had the second dose. So I just want to bring that to you guys' attention so you guys kind of know where we're at. This isn't a statement about getting vaccinated or anything like that, because I know we have anti-vaxxers and we have pro-vaxxers, and I'm not going to get into that fray. I'm kind of neutral, like Sweden, on that. I'm very doubtful that at first I thought I was going to get the vaccine. After reading more and seeing more about these blood clots, and some people say, well, most of them don't have that issue. I'm not willing to take that risk because I've had a blood clot before. And they're saying that some of the other ones have had blood clot issues, but they're not putting it out there that they've had those blood clot issues. So my feeling on this, if you want to take it, you take it. If you don't want to take it, don't take it. That's the way I feel about it. I'm not pro or against. I'm neutral, okay? That's the way I feel about this. But anyway, I wanted to put that out there because I know a lot of people out there wondering where the Philippines is at. And if you remember, about 3 weeks ago, the first dose was at about 0.7%. So we doubled that in 3 weeks, okay? Which still isn't a lot. And also, you remember on the second dose, I think we were at about 1,400 people. So we've done really, really good as far as the second dose goes. We've moved up quite a lot. So that's moved up a lot. But I mean, I don't know what percentage they want to get vaccinated before they start changing things over here. And it's taken a toll on a lot of us having, we're into this about, 16 months now? Because remember, last year, some of us here in my area had to wear masks even in January. But here's the thing. A lot of foreigners over here that are over 65 can't go in the malls. In some cases, they are going to the malls, but they're really not supposed to. If you're 65 or older, you're not supposed to go into the malls here, and you're not supposed to go, do any shopping or anything like that. You're not allowed. That's the rules in most areas. Not all areas, but most areas. At least in this area, it has been that way. So it's made it difficult on a lot of people. I've been lucky, and they've opened it up a little bit here and there, and then they close it down again. And they've, for a while there, all the restaurants were only takeout, so most of the restaurants closed down. When they did reopen, they had limited seating, and you couldn't sit across from somebody unless you had a piece of glass in between you and them, which really put a damper on going out to dinner because it takes away the joy of going out for dinner. And I'm not putting down the people that implemented this. I'm just stating the facts, And, a lot of times you're with your wife, and you can't even sit there and hold hands with her, but you can go home and sleep with her. So I don't understand some of these rules because it's kind of crazy sometimes, but it is the way it is. And then they changed it from being in an air-conditioned setting, and they moved everybody out into the hot sun. And same thing, you had to sit with a piece of glass between you and them, or they had to sit at an angle, and you had to talk at them like this. So I don't understand that either. But it's not just here in the Philippines. It's a lot of other places in Asia and the rest of the world. I mean, you guys in the United States are lucky that you're coming out of this, and you guys don't have to wear face shields when you go out. Because let me tell you something, when it's 90 degrees and you're walking around with a face shield and a mask on, it's hot. It is hot. And by the time you get to your place, or if you sneeze or something like that, your mask is all soaking wet, and it's gross. It's gross. And you have to carry, now I go around with more than one mask, I try to. But it's disgusting, and you're sweaty, it makes you hotter, it makes you miserable when you're traveling. And I understand that, what we're doing it for, but I don't feel like, you know, things are going to be changing over here for quite a long time. I'm getting that feeling more and more every day because of the constant extensions here around Manila. And I think we're going to kind of be kind of like India, and this is going to take off more because a lot of Filipino people, they move about quite often because they live in the neighborhood. They go over to their friend's house. They don't listen to the quarantine. I can walk out in the streets and still see lots of people moving about, and they don't follow a lot of the rules. But understandably so sometimes, because some of the rules get kind of crazy. And I'm not, like I said, I don't want to go against I'm not trying to go against the Philippine government's rules or anything. I'm just stating that, you know, a lot of these people are tired. You know, you put people under lock and key for 16 months and tell them you can't do this, this, and this, and after a while, it's like you're like a caged animal. In some ways, I feel like that kind of on some days. And I try to keep my hope up. You know, life has to have some meaning, and we try to keep meaning in our lives here as much as possible. And I hope Filipinos here are keeping meaning in their lives, and I also hope that the expats over here are keeping some sort of meaning in their lives, because I've heard that suicides are on the uptick. I'm not sure if that's true. I heard that in an article the other day that throughout the world, suicides are on the uptick. And if that's true, it's kind of sad. Are they counting those as COVID-related deaths? You know, I mean, they are COVID-related. Those are real COVID-related deaths. It's kind of scary to think about that, what's going on here in this world. And not to mention the people that are starving, that have lost their jobs. I'm sure people have died from starvation in some of these developing and third world nations. I'm sure many have died from losing their jobs. Because you go out in the street, who's going to buy from a street vendor during a pandemic? Most people are not, because of the cleanliness issue. I also noted that in my town, I'd say a good chunk of the market is closed down, and across from the market, I mean, not the main market. I'm talking about like there's a market across the street. It's just totally closed down. Every store in there is gone. Every single store went down the tubes. In the malls, a lot of stores have closed. Subway's not open. A lot of other restaurants aren't open. A lot of restaurants are in and out. Like, they'll shut down. They'll see how they do for a week. They're not doing good. They shut back down for a week because it's not worth staying open. Kenny Rogers was down for a long time. They reopened just recently, and thank God they did. But I went in there. It was like a ghost town. And it's sad to say that, because that's a good restaurant. It's actually one of my favorite restaurants here in Tracy Martirez, and also in Dasma. In Dasma, they actually sell pizza there, you know. And I see these restaurants, and I feel bad for these people, because they had to let a lot of people go that worked in those restaurants, because they just don't have the amount of clientele coming in now, because everybody's just staying home because nobody's working. And I think the economy over here, unless they open soon, under some kind of different guidelines or something like that, or maybe just open it up and say, hey, we're done with this, you know. And in some respects, I think that might be the way to go, but I'm not sure. You know, I'm not a doctor, you know, and I don't want to make that call, and I'm not capable of making that call. So, but anyway, guys, I just want to bring this up, talk about it a little bit. And guys, don't lose hope. You know, don't lose that meaning in your life. If you're over here in the Philippines, and to you Filipinos over here, don't lose that meaning in your life. And you guys are pretty good at keeping life happy, you know. But I do notice that a lot of Filipinos are getting kind of down in the dumps over here. I see it with my girlfriend. I see it in my family a little bit, and it's kind of sad to see that. You know, my girlfriend was saying that, you know, she's kind of depressed lately, and you know, I noticed she's sleeping a lot more too. And even I myself have been sleeping a lot more, because, you know, I like getting out. I like being able to do things, and all of us do. And life has to have some meaning. And when that meaning gets taken away, what's left? There's not much. You know, and I'm hoping that soon something comes out of this for the good, for the better. My feeling is that It probably won't. On the other side, every time we come out on the other side of something like 9/11, we didn't come out for the better. We came out for the worst. In most cases, and it's just, sometimes it's too much to bear for a lot of people. I mean, it's like a slow change. Every time we go through something, it brings us to a new place in the world. And it gets a little bit worse and progressively worse. And who knows what the next thing is going to be. We had 9/11, we had this pandemic. Who knows where the next issue will bring us. And then the issue after that. Because each time we go through this, it's a big change. And I'm not sure what it's all about. I'm not sure anybody knows. I mean, there's all kinds of conspiracy theories out there and craziness out there. But life has surely gotten strange, very strange. And sometimes I feel like I'd like to say more, but I know on here we really can't, because of the way social media is. But I just want to come out and say that, guys. Be safe out there. Have meaning in your life, guys. And God bless. Take care.